Will be here on a call for Uprising.com. I wanted to show you what's going on in China because remember, China is the blueprint for what they're trying to do around the world, especially here in America. We actually see China and America in bed with one another. We see, America pretty much selling all this land to China, giving it away, giving our oil away to China. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable that this is even being allowed. It's a crime against the civilians, the citizens of this country. But we know that a lot of the stuff they're implementing with COVID in China has spread. It started in China, obviously, on purpose. The whole notion that China leaked the so-called virus, when we know it was all about getting the vaccine inside of people, and then all the countries that followed suit with the protocols that China implemented, and how China was praised for the way they handled COVID, which was called zero COVID, which was locking people up completely and quarantining them and making them pretty much slaves in their own home, imprisoning them. Now, I'm going to show you a clip. This happened in China this week. I think it actually happened yesterday as of this recording. But angry tourists were confronted armed guards at the Chinese airport because the Chinese airport went into COVID lockdown because 61 people tested positive for COVID in the area. Not in the airport, in the area of the airport. So armed guards dressed in their gay COVID outfits with their masks and their hazmat suits locked people up and held them hostage pretty much. This looks like a scene out of a hostage movie. And in reality, this is the government saying, we're protecting you from a virus by holding guns to your head. Take a look. This is the reason that citizens need to be armed, because this is a government, an example of a government that is completely out of control. In America, we have the same thing going on. We have a government that's gone rogue, that is completely out of control. They haven't gotten to the point yet where they're doing this to people, but they are at the point where they fired people from making a living, from being able to have a home, to be able to get food if they don't take the vaccine. Well, here in China, this is what they're doing to citizens. They're holding them at gunpoint and telling them that they can't leave the airport because 61 people testified. Not 6 million people, 61 people. So angry tourists, as you saw in the video, were filmed confronting armed guards in full hazmat suits in China after an entire airport was locked down. Officers armed with guns and shields moved to push back crowds of people who have been left stranded by the lockdown of the airport in the province of Yunnan. The lockdown was introduced after 61 COVID infections were reported in the area on Wednesday. Someone said I spent 8,000 RMB, which is 995 pounds, for a 2-hour tour in the airport. I'm really speechless, a user on social media said. So in other words, they paid for their flight. They weren't able to get on their plane. Their flight was grounded, so they paid 1,000 pounds so that they could have guns held to their head. Well, not to their head, but to have armed guards lock them inside of the airport so they could just stand around the airport for a few hours. Authorities are moving to keep a tight lid on infections as political tensions rise ahead of the party Congress, a meeting of the party elite in mid-October. The run-up to the Congress, which is the most significant event in the Chinese political calendar, is a particularly sensitive time. President Yi expected to secure a precedent-breaking third term in power at the summit. The president has made COVID zero a cornerstone of his leadership. Can you believe that? The cornerstone of his leadership is COVID zero. So enslaving the citizens is the cornerstone of his leadership. I mean, we should be talking about him as if he's Hitler. We should be talking about him as if he's a dictator. But they're talking about as part of his, the word leadership should not be in the sentence. So we've locked everyone down, we've taken people's jobs away, we've put people inside of their apartments with armed guards, we've locked them in airports, we've put fencing around their apartment buildings, we've killed people's cats and dogs, don't forget that, when they went and they killed people's pets because they could have potentially had COVID. But this is leadership, and this is exactly the Democratic leadership here in America, because they're trying to implement the same thing here. They're in bed with China. So this is what they want here. That's why the Democratic Party is such a problem and it's going to devastate this country. And I don't believe in the left or the right, but I'm saying the mindset, the ideologies of liberals who want to destroy capitalism because they want this. And they don't think this would ever happen here, and it will. And when it happens here, they're going to go, oh, this is great. This is what's so bad about having armed guards. The citizens aren't armed, so that's good. So we're supposed to trust in these random goons who are doing the bidding of the government. The government says, you know what, I don't like the way this guy talks. Shoot him. They'll shoot him without even blinking. They're pretty much Manchurian candidates, these people. So they're calling COVID-0 a cornerstone of leadership. I've told you many times here on the website and when I was talking more about it on YouTube about Gates and these people have come out and openly praised China and the way they're handling this. Americans, liberal Americans, are praising the way China's handling this. And everybody else who knows what this is all about is looking at this, and it is absolutely frightening. Frightening. This looks like a scene out of a hostage movie. Like this looks like something you would go see Arnold Schwarzenegger in, and you look at it and it's, oh yeah, he's in the airport, and suddenly, oh, the airport's under. It's like Die Hard, right? That's what it looks like. It's like a scene out of Die Hard 2, where they were, taking the planes hostage. It's pretty much what it looks like. And you have guys with machine guns walking around the airport. And who are the people there? They're not there to protect oh, there's a bomb on the plane, or oh, Al-Qaeda's here at the airport. No, this is because the civilians who are in the airport need to be locked down. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So they're going to praise this here in America. They're going to praise it in other countries that they're trying to turn into dictatorships, which is all the countries, which is pretty much what the World Economic Forum's plan is. And this will all obviously correlate under the eye and the watch of the Antichrist and the rise of the Antichrist, where it's a one world government. Unreal. I can't say it enough. Unreal. 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 China, folks, the blueprint for America, coming soon. Don't think that it's over.